In the Damascus markets, they're used to haggling and to bluffing. Those same methods are now being used at the United Nations as Russia tries to sell its plan to rid Syria of chemical weapons. President Obama gave it a cautious welcome, but he wants it in writing.
I've spoken to the leaders of two of our closest allies, France and the United Kingdom, and we will work together in consultation with Russia and China to put forward a resolution at the UN Security Council requiring Assad to give up his chemical weapons and to ultimately destroy them under international control.
All this on his mind as he attended a ceremony for the 12th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. He knows the aftermath of that, Iraq and Afghanistan, hangs heavy over the current debate. On Thursday, the haggling moves to Geneva. The US and Russia will try to bluff each other. Russia's Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, has given the Americans details of the plan. In Geneva, US Secretary of State John Kerry will want guarantees.
If in due course Obama and the United States as a whole is seen to be being, to use a phrase, jerked around by the Russians and the Syrians in weapons inspections or whatever, like Saddam Hussein did in 2002, at that point, if Obama decides to return to the threat of military strikes, I believe he would find a much more amenable Congress than has been the case so far.
And this is the backdrop to the Russian plan. And it's why, behind the scenes, many diplomats doubt it can work. The fighting continues to rage across the country. And as the latest UN report makes clear, all sides are committing atrocities. UN human rights investigators blame both government forces and opposition fighters for killing civilians and shelling civilian areas amid a litany of other crimes. The battle for Qusayr is an example, and the UN writes, in its shelling and aerial bombardment of both Al-Qusayr and the Al-Qusayr region, government forces conducted themselves in flagrant disregard of the distinction between civilians and persons directly participating in hostilities. Anti-government armed groups used mortars, rockets and snipers in a manner that failed to distinguish civilian and military objectives, thereby committing unlawful attacks. Into this maelstrom, the Russians proposed the UN send hundreds of civilian inspectors. They would require a UN force to protect them and a meaningful UN resolution to support them. It doesn't seem likely. Tim Marshall, Sky News.